right, we are back in Los Angeles, baby.
What kind of a podcaster starts his podcast while his partner is still putting his headphones on?
Somebody who's used to the casual art form.
Microphone
you act like
is
you're on the fucking Tonight Show. Relax.
Microphone is a mile away. What do you mean, relax?
Relax.
What do we do? We're a podcast.
This is a super uptight moment for no fucking reason.
We're a podcast.
Most podcasts start halfway through a sentence that you have no context.
Most of the loser broadcasts you listen to, dog, not the ones I listen to.
Like
not
what?
the Barstool Sports shows.
Oh,
That's not how they
100%.
start.
Yes, they do.
I've never actually heard
Yes,
of Barstool
they
Sports.
absolutely. Mid sentence.
All right, sure. Go ahead and gaslight your way into telling me that starting a podcast while the microphone is away from my face.
If it's the truth, it's not
makes
gaslighting.
sense. Oh, it's
if
absolutely
it's the truth, it's not gaslighting. No,
it's gaslighting.
You're using gaslighting to shut me down, even though I'm telling the truth.
Now you're using gaslighting to say that I'm using it to shut you down. You're using it to shut me down.
Every Barstool podcast starts with wrecked him, damn near killed him.
Oh.
And then they're welcome to Barstool's blah, 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 blah.
I'll let the listeners decide. I think they're going to agree with me. But that's just me. You know, I can't talk reason into you,
I usually chop the first 30 seconds off everything anyway.
It's just, okay. Hey, go ahead, man. Go with it.
I've been editing this for years.
Go with it, buddy. That's what we're going to say.
I said, welcome back. We're from Los Angeles. You had a conniption fit.
I just wanted to start the episode with serious drama. Now, I guarantee everybody's like, holy fuck, we're like on the edge of our seats.
Yeah, they really are.
Boom. Drama off.
And done.
And scene. What did you learn about? What did you learn?
In Austin?
No, in our little dramatic start of the episode.
Oh, I didn't learn anything. I was right the whole time, so there was nothing new to learn.
I'm just going to let you know this right now. You were absolutely in no way, shape, or form correct. I'm just going to let it go because I'm a bigger man.
Right.
I'm a bigger man.
That's why we had to put the camera closer to you to make you appear bigger than you really are.
Tough to make. Look, comedy rule 101. Know your audience. And today your audience is pissed at you, dog.
For what?
Because we were just fighting for 40 seconds.
So what are they pissed about?
I'm gonna go and knock when we get done with this podcast. I'm gonna knock on your door. I'm gonna talk to your girlfriend. I'm gonna go. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh, she doesn't get this.
I'm so sorry. If you ever have to deal with it, I'm so sorry. If there's anything I can do,
yeah,
let me know. I mean, I probably can't do it, but let me know. Though.
Right.
I'll find someone who can. I have a TaskRabbit account that's active.
That fight was both 3 times longer and 10 times louder than any even tiff I've had with my girlfriend.
Interesting. Okay. Sounds like you guys are burying stuff, and that's probably
right.
not
So there's no win.
Well
there's no winning here.
Yeah. It sounds like you guys are. It sounds like you guys are gonna have a. Okay. Now you know what it's like to have an argument with you. There's no winning.
So if I'm shouting, she deserves an apology. If I'm not fighting, then I'm burying.
You heard 100% correct.
So what's healthy?
A healthy relationship is one where you're not involved in it.
Okay.
How does that sound?
Sounds good to me.
My apologies to Joni the dog. She's not used to seeing this side of me.
No, she's not. She's also just got home after a week at somebody else's house.
She's all freaked out. Did she show up relieved in that situation, or did she show up freaked out? Like, what the fuck was going on?
She's relieved, but she also I exercise the shit out of her. I take her on 2 long walks which are off leash involving fetch and shit, and she didn't get any of that over the last week. So she's got like pent up energy.
She's pent up.
She was doing fucking loops. She got the zoomies.
I could feel it on her. She was being even more attracted to me today than usual.
She's ready to rock. She wants to fucking party.
Yeah, it must be
school's out for her.
Yeah, it must be a freakish thing as a dog to just be like 1 week I'm just somewhere
I'm here
else.
now.
I have no idea.
Well, she used the person who babysat. She lived with for 4 years,
so she knows.
And there's a dog there that she lived with for 4 years. So
yeah,
she's probably like, back to this.
Yeah.
She thought she had grown out of it.
Yeah, because a dog must want novelty as well.
Yeah.
Can't just want to do the same shit every single day, or maybe it does.
No, 100%
really
routine. That dog needs a routine.
Yeah. Wow.
She like had a timer feeder and like 5 minutes before the timer was about to. She like knows what time it is.
Yeah, she did. When I was watching her for a week, she did get very she was very clearly, she knew when she was going to eat and what she knew, all that shit.
Yeah, she's got it all figured out for you. She's the easiest. Children are like that. When I was a preschool teacher, if you broke the routine, all of a sudden you'd see kids are choking each other, screaming, crying, fucking writing, graffitiing the walls.
Basically, that's what happened when the COVID shutdown happened. Is we broke routine, and people started throwing bricks through bank windows. It's really essentially, in a nutshell, what occurred.
Yeah, yeah. People just didn't have their fucking their schedule, so all of a sudden they started caring deeply about social issues.
I would argue, based on the lack of progression, and I guess hindsight now, we're looking back at it, and it's like all the BLM people are like corrupt war criminals, like all the people up top.
Yeah.
They all have like $1 trillion homes.
Like a property scheme.
You look back and you go, everybody was purely motivated by anger. I don't know. Maybe there was a handful of people doing the right thing, but it seemed like everybody was just pissed off.
Yeah, the only people who were doing the right thing were when Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi wore those scarves and they took a knee.
Yeah, that's true.
That was the only meaningful thing I saw come out of that.
Yeah, that and I think no. When did Trump eat the taco bowl?
That was during campaigning.
That was during campaigning.
Yeah.
That was gonna say that was another close to me. And a similarly meaningful moment.
Speaking of all that unrest, dude, so about 2 neighborhoods over here from here yesterday, 2 cops got shot and killed in El Monte, California. National news. I had no idea. I was just landed from the airport. We went, took an Uber home, picked up my car, and we were going to go pick up Joni. And we drive to the freeway, and I see, which I found out later is verified, a mile-long police, I don't know what you call it, caravan. Every one of them having their sirens on, everyone having their lights on. For a second there, I legit thought there was a terrorism attack. I thought I'd never seen anything like that in my life. Yeah. It was a mile long. It was both directions on the freeway, looking south and north, as far as I could see, blue lights and sirens. And I was like, holy shit, like a bomb went off.
Take down one of their own, and that's what happened.
I was furious when I found out that it was just 2 dead cops, and they were like a procession to the coroner's office. That's all it was. They all... I was like, what's happening in Los Angeles? Every cop is in this procession right now. It made me want to, like, the old me was like, I should go fucking rob something right now.
Yeah, sure.
Every cop, it was insane. Just the arrogance of that. Like, I don't want anybody to get murdered. Listen, I'm not... Whatever, but every fucking cop in the city on the freeway with their lights on.
I get it, dog.
It's insane.
If something happened to a podcaster while they were podcasting, you better believe your boy would participate in whatever group activity we're going to participate in.
Fucking fire trucks, ambulances. I was like, aren't you private?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I was out there with the megaphone, doing it with my megaphone.
I thought it was the end of Los Angeles.
How many minutes did it delay you?
We couldn't get on the freeway. We picked up Johnny the next day.
Oh, so you guys were just like...
It was a lost cause.
Just completely... Interesting.
No, everything was shut down.
Yeah.
There was no getting there.
What was so newsworthy about it? I mean, respectfully, 2 people dead is doesn't seem like a,
we live amongst 17 million people. Like, it's no disrespect to murder, but when you hear about 2 murders, I mean, it doesn't really move the needle like crazy.
It is, especially in a city like Los Angeles.
Yeah.
We were flying... I flew in from Texas yesterday, and I don't know what it is, but every time I leave Los Angeles, I forget what it looks like from the sky versus most cities.
Yeah, it just looks like a giant circuit board.
It looks disgusting.
Yeah,
like
horrendous.
how horrendous and dense it is, and you really don't kind of...
Yeah.
You forget sometimes, I guess. And then when you go into, like, especially a town like Austin, which is like tiny, you're like, oh my God, like I completely forgot. So in a city like that, for 2 cops to get killed, I'm not entirely sure what the big deal was, but I'm sure there's something. There has to be something.
You know what it is? It's the PR moment. They were seizing a PR moment because their name has been dragged through the mud, according to them, for the last 2-3 years. And, even though I'm pretty sure no funding has ever been cut from Los Angeles police, they use that term, defund the police, as such a scarlet letter, as this victimization thing. So they were like, we're going to make the whole city understand that our lives are on the line while we're doing this job. And we're going to shut down the fucking freeway when 2 of ours are taken down either out of bitterness or as a chance to garner or to curry favor from the fucking neighborhood.
This is just the kind of guy I am when I'm just kind of like, yeah, all right. Yeah. I get it. You've been getting the shit kicked out of you for a year. You have an excuse to, it's give and take. right? If you spend entire 2 years just with people spray painting billboards, go fuck yourself, go kill yourself, you're going to become pretty hostile towards the people whom you serve as well. So there's just an endless war going on between the people and, you know, civilians and cops out here.
Right. Had the people started that war, I would be a little more sympathetic, but I think that that's more on them.
I mean, hey, listen, if it's tough. It's tough, dude.
Right, but I mean, yeah, I don't understand. Anyway, it was infuriating. Fuck them. I couldn't get my dog because 2 people fucking died. How many other people got murdered that day in Los Angeles?
I'm sure many people got murdered.
Yeah, I didn't see a line of El Caminos going down the fucking 101.
Absolutely. I'm sure there's a lot. Listen, if they could do it, if they arranged it, if they want to do it, you know.
Coolest funeral procession I ever saw was a Hell's Angel was murdered by a Mongol in San Francisco. And it was, I believe, it might have been Papa Frisco. I think it might have been the leader of the Hells Angels San Francisco chapter. So all the Hells Angels descended on San Francisco, and then all the Mongols descended on San Francisco and rode with them to be like, let's not make this a war. Like, this is just a feud between one-off Mongol and one-off Hells Angel. So, like, hundreds of chapters of biker gangs just rode all through San Francisco, and it was so sick.
Yeah, San Francisco is a pretty small town too, or city, right?
Yeah,
comparatively. So a fuckload of Hell's Angels is a real presence.
Yeah, it's 10 miles north to south through San Francisco.
Was there any kind of like gay biker situation where they kind of got mixed into the whole thing in some capacity? It's kind of a leather daddy.
It looked like that. I mean, I don't know if I would have gotten stabbed for saying that, but it definitely had you're in San Francisco and there's chaps being worn. I mean, it's not hard not to look gay.
Yeah, dude. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Still to this day, whenever somebody says San Francisco, I go.
Yeah, we were talking about that in Texas, about how that's such a 90s thing.
Because San Francisco and Texas are so similar.
Well, now also San Francisco, now all you think is tech.
Austin, sorry.
Yeah,
specifically. Austin. I mean, the rest of it, we went to other places. That was
not very San Francisco-esque.
Not at all. There's nothing San Francisco about a Buc-ee's gas station.
No, not in the slightest. Although you can get quite a bit of like alternative meats and stuff. They did have like tofu jerky there. They had some stuff that was a little surprising.
The Democrats dude. The Democrats have destroyed this country from the inside. They've rotted this fucking country.
Wait, so the meatless jerky is what made you feel that way?
Yeah. When you see meatless jerky in a Texas like brand gas station, understand the Democrats have won. And I'm not even saying that's a bad thing, but I just like saying it in that tone. It's extra funny.
I don't know. When I drive around this country, I feel like nobody won.
Nobody has won. When I look at this world, nobody has won.
Nobody's won.
Like 8 people have. The Bush family.
Yeah.
Putin.
Right. Like
Putin is really winning.
Yeah, he's crushing it. He's about to take over. Yeah, he's about to win.
Who else? Who else do I throw in the mix there?
Xi Jinping.
A couple of those football families, you know, the Mannings and those guys.
Robert Kraft he got jerked off in that spot.
That was awesome.
Nobody cared.
Wow. It's like, how can they?
Yeah.
It's just such a hilarious thing in this country. Pelosi's husband the other day got arrested for drunk driving. What are the chances he goes through anything at all?
0.
What are the chances he even has to change one day in his life?
Do you think he'll have any hangups getting into Canada?
That might be an issue, but he's worth like $600 million.
Yeah.
I mean, people do understand, and that's why they're so angry at those types. But it's like he looks at a DUI the way you and I would look like at a parking ticket.
Yeah,
like,
100%.
Like this is gonna take
hurry
an hour out
up.
of my day. Like,
Yeah.
I gotta do a thing now and
Yeah.
talk to a guy. Like this is.
He's got a whole team on retainer at all moments.
Kraft had a similar experience there. I mean, it's a good life. And honestly, when I look at my bank account, I'm getting close to there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're getting close to looking at a DUI like a parking ticket?
Yeah.
Like you're getting that kind of money?
That kind of wealth. Yeah. Some
Yeah.
of the investments, I mean, have been paying off tremendously.
Sure.
Especially this week.
Yeah.
All my investments are through the roof.
Yeah, I imagine.
Well, if you convert the money to yen,
Yeah.
I'm a millionaire.
Bitcoin's doing great, right?
Listen, the world is all there's a big there's talk of a recession. Ain't gonna happen. Not gonna happen. It's already
This is me talking to my hair.
yeah. I'm not
Look,
bald.
people are mentioning that there's a recession going on here.
No, not gonna happen. Dude.
It's not happening.
I always tell people recession starts up here. Once you start thinking recession up here, yeah, then it'll happen.
It actually started back here for me, though.
It's how I'm not gay. I don't let it happen up here.
Right.
Sometimes it shows up.
Yeah.
It'll show up sometimes, and I'll go, "Oh God, what are you doing?" But I don't let it stay.
Yeah. That's why your hair's curly.
That's why my hair's curly.
If you allowed yourself to be gay, it would be super straight.
I'd have beautiful K-pop stars hair.
Right. Yeah. Just long Korean silken hair.
No, I mean the Federal Reserve will cut rates, whatever that means, and I mean I kind of know what that means, and then all of a sudden the stock market jumped up. Everything is crypto used to be the hedge against the stock market, but now I've lost faith in crypto in that it just moves with the stock market now. So
right.
when everything tumbles, it tumbles.
I can't wait for a bunch of dummies to say you don't know what you're talking about.
It's all in bed. Well, fuck. If you want to if you have an issue with the statement that I just said on this podcast, comment your fucking address below. I'll fly over and beat the shit out of you and your kids.
I'm going to start clipping every time we talk about the stock market because those people seem to be touchy.
Quite frankly, your kids need to get the shit kicked out of them, if you ask me. Stock market people are so fucking they're lunatics, dude.
What a weird thing to be like poor and a nerd about. You know what I mean?
It's like, I understand. It's like they didn't have sports. Like they don't have something fun to be that way about.
Yeah.
I get it. I used to be a libertarian. I know what it's like to get into something that's just awful for fun.
I mean, if it were like Jordan Belfort shitting on you, I'd be like, well, I'll listen to him.
Or it's like a guy with 434 followers. And you know he's coming at me because he's All right, I don't even want to think about that animal. I went for like 3 hours with a guy online about a clip about something I said about the stock market. I was like running errands, doing important shit. I had COVID-19. I remember I was sick, and I was like just really going at this guy.
You have to.
You have to defend your honor. If you don't act with integrity, then people will step all over you.
100%. And now that guy, that anonymous person who may not even live in America.
No, you think, I like where you're going with this.
He'll never mess with you.
The possibility that maybe it's Russian descent getting into our comments, trying to fucking destroy the podcast internally.
Yeah. It was the Mueller report.
Interesting.
Yep.
Russian hackers are trying to destroy our show. We need to rally our people to give us money over this narrative.
Any negative comment I get, I go, that's a bot.
That's a bot.
There's no way. That's not a bot.
Yeah. I feel that way.
Anytime I don't get likes, shadow banned.
Shadow banned by
it's just bots and shadow banned. Anytime I don't get a lot of views, algorithm buried me.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I said something. I wasn't pro-China enough. I guess I'll be more pro-China like everybody else.
It's a wonderful world for excuses to lie to yourself.
It's great. Yeah. I feel that way. I mean, listen, I think I talk about, it's like inflation and everything else. The pandemic has been the snooze button on getting your shit together.
Yeah.
You know, so you could just, if you were a loser pre-pandemic, guess what? Boom, 5 more years. Do your loser
5?
thing.
You used to say 2. That's good. I'm glad you bumped it up to 3.
Well,
3 more, I mean?
there's an inevitable recession, but
right. I thought it wasn't happening. I love this.
Damn it. I let my negative self-talk get the best of me. That's not what I'm about. Sorry.
This is what happens when you listen to somebody.
That's not what I'm about. That's not what I'm about. I'm not about negative self-talk. I'm trying to positive self-talk and the recession.
You know, it's a hilarious way to send people into just a psychotic mess is when you just repeat their statements back to them. Because that's like a counseling method I learned when I was a little counselor at the Berkeley Free Clinic, where they're like, if you just mirror and reflect, people start to shatter and they get really defensive. Where like if you're like, well, there's not going to be a recession. So there's not going to be a recession? And they go, no, there's not going to be. And they start, when you just start repeating what people are back to them, they shatter.
Yeah.
And because they're not listening to themselves.
Maybe commoners, not me. If you repeat what I say, I'll be like, finally,
yeah,
Bryan,
hell yeah.
That sounds great.
Listening.
I
Yeah.
go, that's one of the smartest things I ever heard.
Because most people are just talking and they're not listening to themselves.
Yeah.
And they're just filling the air with vibrations.
I'm doing both. I'm listening to myself 100% of the times while simultaneously talking and not listening to anybody else.
Yeah, that's the comic way.
It's a powerful method
Yeah.
to block out negativity. Try to get me. You can't even do it. Whatever, J-Pow. Boom, get out of here.
Was DDR popular when you were growing up?
Yeah, DDR was popular.
Were you good at it?
No.
Did people get pussy from DDR? Like, did anybody ever rock out DDR and then some girl was like, hey, you're pretty good?
I think it's possible. I will say that when I went to a arcade, we had a nickel arcade. I'm sure inflation, it's now a dime arcade. I'm sure Nickel has changed.
Can you say any amount of money without instantly applying inflation to it? I can't.
It would be
because I
foolish.
absolutely can't.
It would be foolish not to, because
Yeah.
we got to let people know what they're talking about.
We played the penny slots in Vegas, well, in the airport on the way back. This used to be free.
Is it?
No.
To go from free to 1 cent is a massive increase. And they're not wrong.
Yeah, it's an infinite increase.
It's infinite. Possibly.
I don't know how it works.
I'm not sure.
But I feel like if it goes from nothing to something, that's infinite.
Yeah. I think we're about to have a good Christian debate about the start of the universe. But yeah, at Nickel, I remember people would do DDR, and they would, we would be really impressed with them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and so there would be a crowd watching of them. And I remember thinking, like, I can't put myself out there like that.
Yeah.
Like, that's just not for me.
Really?
I was very much, I don't even know how I ended up in the position that I'm in today,
Right.
the great, powerful position that I'm in today,
Yeah.
commanding the masses.
Mm-hmm.
As a child, I did not want the limelight.
Well, they say leaders are chosen. You know?
I certainly felt that as I realized that I was personally not chosen to do a lot of work.
I was watching a little bit of Dune on the flight, and they said something about leaders are not they're chosen, not they don't volunteer or something. They were saying to that hot little guy who was
Yeah.
in Dune.
Who's the hot guy in Dune?
Maybe Timothy Chalamet.
See, I never saw Dune. I have, and I understand this is not any shot at anybody, to be honest with you, because I'm a positive guy.
Mm-hmm. We all know that.
I'm a positive guy.
Sure, you're a positive guy.
I don't know who Timothy Chalamet is, and
I don't either, but I think this guy was him.
much like the word Oaxacan, I've decided this is not going to be for me.
Yeah.
In any capacity. We have no. Oh, I should let people know as Bryan reaches for the phone, we have no Tyler today.
Yeah.
So maybe you guys are going, wait, they've asked a lot of Googleable questions. Well, the reason why nobody's Googling it is because Tyler showed up and then left. It's totally fine. It's not his fault. He didn't plan really for today, but I do sort of think he should have just not came, and it would have been totally fine.
I think it would have been easier for him. Is this Timothy Chalamet?
I'm not
It
sure.
is. Yes.
I like how you looked him up and then didn't show me, but that's okay.
No. All I was verifying was that he was in fact the star of Dune. That's all I was verifying.
Understood. I don't want to know what he looks like. He's not for me.
He's a little snack.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's a
Taste
snack.
a little snack?
Yeah, he's a treat.
You show me a picture to the show then.
All right,
I'll take a look at that. Is he's got to be like a young kind of, I imagine he's a pedophile approved celebrity.
Yeah, he's twinkish.
This is what I've always said. This is one of my, yeah. I mean, this is absolutely a pedophile's treat. This is what I've often said.
Yeah.
Pedophiles are the deciding vote out there in the world. People don't want to accept it, but what puts you over the top is when women and pedophiles like you.
Not just gay guys.
Well, that's the thing. Well, here's what I'm saying: is if you're a super attractive guy, it's like you've got women and you've got gay guys who like you, right?
Yeah.
It's like what really gets you over the top one edge, one little more.
A third demographic.
Getting the third demographic in the mix. Getting the third, I would say, much more passionate demographic in the mix.
I want to make it clear: Timothy Chalamet is 26 years old.
No, a wonderful
but
looking guy.
that's like how approved he is.
Looks 16 though.
Yeah.
So
I swear he was 16. That's what the pedophile says when he's caught. He's with an adult. He goes, I swear. I didn't check his ID, but I swear he was 6 instead of I swear she was 18.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. No, I like that. I'm sorry. I was just pissed off thinking about the fact that pedophiles don't like our podcast.
I'm happy about that.
I
really would prefer not to hang out with those types.
Well, I don't want to hang out with them.
I don't even want their money.
Somebody's got to spend somewhere, dog. And in a recession. Sorry. Nope. I'm sorry about that. We're not in a recession. We are not in a recession.
If we're gonna will an audience base, why not? We could say any demographic, any group. Why them?
You're absolutely right. We are in great economic times. We do not need pedophiles to support this podcast.
No.
If anything, I want them to go out of their way to say that they hate this podcast.
Yes. In fact, I think they should all go listen to Bag Fries.
Listen to that.
All the pedophiles.
You should all follow Bruce Gray and Kevin Tinkin, the two. I think
they're the most pedophile-friendly podcast I've ever heard.
Okay, I'm going to let you know right now. We're stepping into the First Amendment is not protected territory. We're stepping into First Amendment not protected territory.
Okay. Let me say this. Allegedly.
All right.
That's what I've heard. Other people. Oh, should I go Trump in on it? People are saying that's the most pedophile-friendly podcast. I wouldn't know.
Okay.
I haven't heard it.
I'll tell you what.
I have been a guest on it.
We'll leave the video to our podcast attorney Hakeem.
Yeah.
He'll check it out. We'll see what he says. If he lets us take it, we'll keep it. If not,
Right.
we'll let it out.
Right. But
That's
we will
it.
not incorporate bag fries in this decision whatsoever.
Why pay our retainer fee to our podcast attorney if we're not going to use him sometimes?
Right. Yeah. I think that, those guys should go, all those nasty guys should go listen to Bag Fries and Big Humble and all those Hate Watch, all those other LA podcasts, not us.
This should be a podcast exclusively for
CEOs.
patriots
Patriots and CEOs.
and CEOs. And patriots in the positive way. Brian Vokey hilariously pointed out this weekend to me that patriot is much like the word Jew. It kind of depends on how you say it.
Yeah.
For you to really know.
Yeah, like if we're
what the
talking
person's
about
thinking.
Idaho, we're talking about the Patriot Front.
Yeah. No, that's
That's the bad kind of
the
patriot.
bad kind of patriot. We're
Right.
talking about patriots like, Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah. I couldn't think of one.
We're talking about guys like,
Zachary Taylor?
who's Zachary Taylor?
Isn't he a president?
No. Zachary
Tyler?
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. I was thinking about the guy from Home Improvement, the
Is
the
it
middle
Zach,
child.
Zach Tyler? Zachary Tyler or Zachary Taylor?
I'm thinking of Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Another Patriot.
Patriot.
Yeah, absolutely. Tim Allen, Patriot. Big time.
JTT, fellow. Actually, he's a short king. I can't call myself. I don't call him a fellow short king. I'm a short guy. He's a short king. I hope this someday ascend.
See, you really are changing.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not. It's fine. Someday I might be knighted, but for now,
Do you ever wish you could get like a hat like that, like a Muslim hat, but also has like the tightener?
you're talking about.
So no brim. That same exact hat, but no brim. Do they make that like where it looks like a backwards hat?
I see them, and I see black dudes wearing them.
Really?
And they look great in them. But I go, I don't think I got that look going on.
Do.
You think so?
Yeah. With your glasses?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Carrying a Quran everywhere I go.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd be crushing it.
Dude, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wife after wife after wife after wife.
La ilaha illallah. Everybody knows I'm getting closer. Getting closer and closer.
Just going to Palestine and
Going
bagging
right
a girl.
Going right back to where it started, baby. You know?
Ramallah.
Well, Arabe, but yeah. You got it.
Yeah.
Similar culture. Yeah, man. Speaking of Palestine, what do you think of Texas? We were in Austin for one full week. Heat wave the entire time.
Hottest week of the year.
There's apparently a city out there right now that just doesn't have water.
Yeah.
That just legit has for last week. I think it's Odessa or some kind of one of the ones nobody cares about.
Yeah, something you've heard of maybe once because of maybe a serial killer was there or something.
No water in the oppressive heat that is Texas. I couldn't imagine anything worse.
Yeah, I think they're like headed towards brownouts too because they have like a real like corrupt power grid. Because remember when the snowstorm hit and all those people died, and apparently there was a lot of measures that could be taken. They just, in the interest of profits, didn't. It's a sketchy state. I did enjoy Buc-ee's. The gas station. They got a great gas station.
What a transition.
But
I like how you went from Noam Chomsky to like Pete Holmes or something. You went from like listen, I respect it. I like it.
Well,
as a guy who's trying to sell commercials on this show.
Well, like sometimes you head down a road and you go, "This isn't the right direction."
Yeah, for sure.
I went to Barton Springs. That's like a spring water place in Austin, Texas. It was freezing cold, and it was $9 to swim in there. And like the punk and the Mainer and the Georgian in me, just all those parts of me, were furious at myself for paying $9 to swim in a river.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, Maine is full of lakes and rivers. Georgia's full of rivers. And just like the idea of paying to get in a river is
You're looking at it the wrong way.
humiliating.
You're looking at it the wrong way, sir. Let me tell you something about what I think when I pay to go somewhere is I think to myself, well, if something goes wrong, I have somebody to sue. And that's where you're wrong, is when you paid to get in that spring, oh, baby, you better watch out. Because now there's liability involved.
Right.
There's a corporation that's getting paid.
It was uncomfortable. There was like teenagers flirting with each other, which is the most uncomfortable thing in the world to be around.
Yeah.
because it's just like you hear the like boys' voices cracking as they throw seaweed at the only girl with tits, and you're just like, it's so uncomfortable.
Yeah, of course. It seems like it's like being at an In-N-Out where you're like, this is always like a high school date going around somewhere.
Yeah. I'd rather not see that shit.
Yeah.
And then there's always some old that like, or not always. This one time, I've only been there once, but there was an old guy in a fucking like a wetsuit with fins on his hands, swimming with a girl that was way too young for him.
Awesome.
And
very cool.
And then I saw him trying to sell the fins to like strangers. Like I think he was using the product.
He did not. No.
I swear to hand to God, he was swimming laps in the river because they kind of dammed off this river in this way to make it like a pool. And he was swimming laps all up and down it. And then he was swimming back, and he had like a girl. I heard her say she was 24 years old because one of the people asked, and he was like in his 50s or 60s or something, old man. And he was like gesticulating with these fins on his hands. And then and it almost like he was like gesticulating more than normal. And they asked him about the fins. He goes, "Oh, these really help you swim, blah, blah." And then he started a sales pitch on how to sell the fins. And he's in a wetsuit.
Why would you not like seeing that guy? To me, that's the coolest dude you saw all weekend.
I just want to be alone when I'm in a river.
Sure.
Yeah.
I understand. But I'm sure there's other places you could have swam, just not in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, for sure. So, I don't know. It was like really sprawly. I thought that there was going to be like kind of like a cool part of town, but it just seems like there's just little chunks of neighborhoods all over.
Yeah.
That's my least favorite thing about LA is the sprawl.
There was a great exodus from Los Angeles to Austin, especially by a lot of comics. And there's always this like conversation with Austin where they're like, it's so cheap. And I really didn't. I found it to be cheaper, but it's like, it's like saying like, McDonald's is way cheaper to eat at than Nobu, the sushi place.
Right.
Like, yeah, okay. I hear what you're saying.
Also cheaper. I'm pretty sure there's only like 4 or 5 cities in the country more expensive than LA. I mean, everything's cheaper.
But relatively speaking, you're looking at like, it's just like, it's fine.
But also,
no hate to the city. There's plenty of things there that are wonderful. But listening to LA people ruin it. Like to me, we were fortunate enough. We had a podcast listener who threw us a show.
Yeah,
down in Houston.
Amazing.
And when you talk to him, he lived in a lovely home, and he was telling me he got it for like $125,000. Those are the kind of numbers I want to hear when people tell me something is cheaper.
Yeah, he had a yard, and he had
a backyard,
a house big enough to throw a party and have a stand-up show. And he goes, "This is off of 2 teacher salaries." That's what he said.
Yeah. So
it's just 2 teachers living there.
So when you want to talk about something like that, I go, all right, that's something I'll. But when I look at Austin versus the LAs and the New Yorks and the Denvers, I'm just kind of like,
I would be so pissed if I found out growing up that my teachers had roommates. You know what I mean?
That's a good point. I never even considered the possibility that any of my teachers had roommates, and now everybody's teachers have roommates.
Yeah, you have to have a roommate in LA if you're going to be a teacher. You can't afford to live by yourself as a teacher.
Yeah,
living in LA, and that would bother me. I'd be like, "Are you a professional?" Like. This seems like you're not qualified.
Yeah, as a parent, especially if you were a parent coming in to talk to. Like, I'm sorry. You're teaching my son what exactly?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I see. You're doing kind of an anatomy of your own life to show him what not to do. I see. All right.
So you're teaching him how to divide power bills by 4.
It's actually a good point. Nobody knows division better than a guy with a lot of roommates. That's a good point.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember I had a teacher, Mr. Carlton. I really liked him. He was fresh out of college, and he started teaching, so he was waiting for his first paychecks. And he was talking about how he had ran out of canned food. And I just remember back in my mind being like, you're supposed to teach me geography, and you're like hungry? Like, that seems like you just don't seem qualified. Like, in my mind, when you're a kid, you want your teacher to be like, a dojo master type guy. His hands are buried in his sleeves, long goatee, and he's like teaching you, he's making you bring the rice barrels up the fucking stairs. Like I want a dojo master, not a guy who's like asking me if he can borrow $5 before he teaches me geography.
I'm with you. I think we should pay every teacher $1 million salary a year.
Well, now he'd still have roommates at that point.
Well, that's a good point. I'm just trying to go on the record on this podcast and let people know we support $1 million annual salaries for teachers. Anything less is a fucking joke. Anything less than $1 million a year is a fucking joke.
You're listening to the Teachers Podcast.
When I'm telling you, you get the Teachers Association Union behind you as a podcast. Forget about it. We get a thug on. We get a thug as third mic, a union thug. We get
an NEA, is that their union?
Yeah, whatever. I think it's
National Educators Association.
You know what? You're right. Yeah, it is.
NEA.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, we get a guy with a fucking pipe to go break some shins for us on some other podcast. I'm done with this libertarian angle that I've been playing for a long time.
All I gotta do is burn down one charter school, and then we could get the guy in.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll do tit for tat. We get it.
Oh yeah, I've always wanted to burn a charter school to the ground.
I've always wanted to go to a charter school, so if I get to go there before you burn it, I'll be fucking thrilled.
Dude, they always make you wear khaki pants. That's my big problem with the charter schools.
I'm trying to get into a charter school right now. I'm done with
and also there's seems to be a monopoly on the signage for a charter school. Every sign in front of the charter school is exactly the same.
Is Magnet School a charter school?
I don't know.
You ever see those schools where it's it's a magnet school? Typically they do math or science or something like that. I want to go to one of those schools.
Yeah.
Billy Madison, but go through one of those.
Right. I want to go through a vocational school where they teach you to be a mechanic. They teach you how to just be poor for the rest of your life. They're know those ones? Yeah,
but I'm telling you right now, it's better for you. If you're going to learn, you might as well just learn to code, because eventually you're just going to get yourself into a position where it's these are all these cars are built by Apple. So it doesn't really have
an engine. 3D print a Tesla. Yeah, that sounds sick.
You're going to open up. It's just going to be, you're going to open up the hood and it's going to be an iPad.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. They're like, do you know Cobra? Because otherwise you're not going to be able to.
Do you know Cobra? It's Python. What are you, my dad? I love that. Oh, do you know Cobra?
Who cares?
A lot of people.
Yeah. Well, Cobra's a car.
Cobra is a car. That's a good point. I loved it. It was one of the most endearing moments of the podcast. Do we have a second? We do an annual, when we do our annual award show, we'll write this one down as a possible most endearing moment of the year.
Most endearing moment. I had another one. I had another dummy moment today. I was out to eat with my friend Christian, and he said that another friend of us was there, and he goes, "You look like Patrick Bateman," who is the name of the character in American Psycho, played by Christian Bale. But I was like, "Oh, did Jason Bateman's brother play American Psycho?" Because I thought Patrick Bateman was the name of the actor.
Yeah.
Boy, did I get trashed for a long time on that one.
Let me tell you right now, anybody who's negative enough to trash you for that, we got to cut him out of your life, dude. I'm done with this shit.
Toxic positivity.
I'm LinkedIn in this bitch.
So, somebody makes fun of you for a second.
Over. You're out of my life, bitch.
Are you being positive or are you being extremely fragile? I can't tell.
Both, motherfucker, and there's nothing wrong with either. Boom. There ain't gonna be no recession. That's the name of this episode.
That's right. We were talking about LinkedIn because I'm on there now. I'm trying to meet some chicks.
I'm trying to hook up with some chicks on LinkedIn too. Yeah, because their guard is down.
I'd like to apply for that pussy.
They're not ready for it. You know what I mean? Usually, if you go onto one of these dating apps, which of course the only one I'm on is Raya.
Yeah, for
the celebrity one.
Yeah, we know.
I'm on a broadcaster one. Broadcaster. It's just it's a Tinder just for broadcasters.
Yeah. Are you on the AM or the FM?
I'm on the FM one. Well, I'm sorry, AM.
Yeah, you want to be.
I want one of them chicks.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for a blue-haired whatever. I'm looking for
an NPR chick.
I'm looking for a blonde woman in her 50s
who can read,
who got tons of surgery years ago.
Right, who can read ad reads for Gold and the Rifle Coffee Company or whatever is sponsoring Dan Bongino, which, by the way, we should talk about Dan Bongino for a second.
It's broadcaster without an E, and their tagline is "Cast a line for abroad today."
That's catchy. I like
bad.
that. I like that.
It's not the worst idea I have.
Is Dan Bongino the broadcaster we're the most jealous of now?
He's the replacement for Rush Limbaugh. And he's the absolute one that I can't get enough of him. We listened to him when we were driving to Houston for 2 hours. And
probably did about,
6 minutes.
6 minutes of broadcasting.
And I'm telling you, 3 of those minutes were some of the most cringy.
Yeah.
pandery thing.
He was riffing, pretend riffing rather.
Every 4 minutes, we'd come back. He'd let us know what's going on, what he's thinking about, and well, he's got a plan. It's coming up. It's coming up soon. But I'll tell you what. We'll tell you after the break.
All break.
40 minutes.
It was like 40 minutes of ad reads. The guy probably made $19 million while we were listening to him on a 2-hour drive. He did about 8 minutes of broadcasting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
eventually, the only podcast you and I are going to do is the Patreon. Eventually, the main feed will be 4 hours of ads. And then that's that.
It was the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. And it wasn't like the same ad read. It was like different company after different company. Any veteran-owned with Patriot in the title company was sponsoring him.
Oh, yeah.
Like home security systems and like...
I'm sure, I'll tell you right now, I'm sure all those commercials have like gay versions of the commercial that they do on like other, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
100%.
They do their... This is the super straight heterosexual male version, and then on the other one, it is the alternate blue hair version of that commercial on NPR. I guarantee you.
It's the best job in the world. First of all, he's cornering the market. Not very many people listen to radio anymore, but if they are listening to AM talk radio, they're listening to him because he inherited Rush's audience. So millions of people listening to his ad reads. He broadcasts for about 8-9 minutes, and I would say about 4 of those minutes that we listened to was him plugging his Fox News show. That he was a TV show he was doing. He's mostly talking about the TV show that he does once a week.
I tell you, I listened as a broadcaster. I learned a lot.
I don't know. I couldn't even tell you the guy was conservative. Like, I don't even think I heard an opinion.
No, I didn't hear anything.
You could tell by the ad reads.
He could have been Ryan Seacrest.
Yeah, I have no idea.
There's no proof he's not Ryan Seacrest.
My mind was blown.
Yeah.
And we were in a Cadillac, or no, we were in a convertible Mustang.
We drove to Houston from Austin, which is a 2-hour drive, in a hilarious Mustang
convertible.
Thank you to our buddy Dan Nolan, who's a comic out in Austin, for letting us do that. That was fucking one of the most hilarious ways.
Yeah, we had to ask a man to take a picture of us with the top down.
There was no way I was not going to get a picture of you and me in a convertible.
It was hilarious.
We asked this dude who I was telling Bryan, I did not see one person here that I was comfortable asking. And Bryan just went, I'll just go to this guy. Cause everybody there, we went, so Buc-ee's, if you're in Texas, is a big deal. It's it's everybody who lives in Texas tells you.
It seems to be a beaver themed gas station.
It's a really cool gas station, but Bryan and I went to the only one that was
sucked.
It was like licensed.
It was an outlet. Buc-ee's outlet.
I saw several people beat the shit out of their children while I was in that Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
It was very small. Anyways, we were at that gas station, a little disappointed because we were like, I guess this place sucks.
Yeah, I had my hopes up. My dad had been talking about, he'd been big up in Buc-ee's since I was a kid.
You're like, this is an AM. It was an AM/PM that was taken over that day.
Yeah, that just had like weird logo.
It's kind of like when ISIS takes over a town and throws up their flags. It's like they haven't gotten any of the works. It seemed like they didn't do anything in the place.
Yeah, it was a quick trip with a beaver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we got this guy to take a picture of us, and it was so funny to watch the guy because he could totally. It was the guy. I heard a Dallas Cowboys sticker emblem on his car. Like, I heard it in his voice. I'm like, I don't know if he's got it, but it's there.
Yeah, when he comes, he goes, "How about them Cowboys?"
Like one Bluetooth in.
Yeah.
Like I'll take. Yeah, it was hilarious.
Yeah. But you were right. You were like he knew how to take the pictures because he had daughters.
Without a doubt, he was like, I got 2 lesbian daughters. This won't be a problem at all, folks. I totally get alternative lifestyles. He said, looking at us in a convertible. I don't think he didn't seem like he understood irony.
Yeah, we were in a convertible Mustang with California plates driving through rural Texas. I was nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I've always wanted to be one of those guys, like, you know how guys have a ton of passports. I just want to have like 10 license plates because I feel 10 times safer when I have license plates from the state I'm in. Whenever I was in bands and I'd be driving through West Virginia, a California plate, I'm like, oh,
especially Texas, especially Austin, especially around Austin, especially because the locals have so much resentment towards California. So the California plates is a must pull over.
Meanwhile, they've been doing an impression of California since the 50s.
We were like 50 miles away, and we were like, is this registered, or do we know anything about this car?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
This car may have been used
in a murder.
We might be running drugs right now
and
from one city to another city.
He had an Apple ID tag on us, too, so I was like, are we set up here where, like, this is involved involved in a crime, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm tracking the car. They're in, they're at the shitty Buc-ee's."
Dude, I saw this thing the other day. I didn't realize people did this, but when drug traffickers run drugs from one city to another, big stretch of highway especially, they have one car that follows them. And that's what's considered a blocker. So if something goes down, like for example, a cop starts trying to pull over the other guys. I saw a video here where one of these blockers just pitted the cop car.
I'll just go to jail.
Like my thing is I get paid to go to jail.
Yeah. And I wonder what the sentence is on ramming a cop.
I wonder if they have some understanding that like, maximum that's going to be. Like they probably have this thing where they talk to an attorney, because these guys are running $200 million worth of drugs.
Yeah, they got their attorney. Better Call Saul guy.
Yeah, it's like, what's the maximum, battery on a cop or whatever? It's okay. It's 13 years. All right, that's it.
13 years.
We'll take care of you. You go in when you come out.
I'm affiliated. I go into a prison. My gang runs that prison.
Yeah,
no problem.
Here's my crime. Tell me what you think about this. All right, this is my crime hustle in the future. I find people who are suicidal, and I take out a life insurance policy on them. Okay, and then part of that is I give them half of what the life insurance is worth up front, and I tell them you have 6 months, but we'll eventually kill you. Then I cash out on the life insurance policy, doubling my money each time.
How does the money double?
Well, because let's say I take out $1 million on the guy, right? I give him 500 up front, 500K up front. I go, here you go.
Oh, right.
Enjoy your last days.
Yes.
It's like that's not a bad hustle.
But do you really want them to enjoy their last days? They might not do it then. You're just going to
we
kill
whack
them.
them. We whack them.
And you make it look like a suicide every time?
Every single time. Yeah. It's now we are going to have to choose a name that doesn't sound like we do that.
The Clinton Foundation.
We could be the Clinton Foundation, the Gates organization.
Yeah. That sounds great.
That's a good way. That's a good way. If you were a crime organization, just name yourself
after
the Clinton.
A more successful crime organization.
I've been watching. I can't believe we didn't watch this when we were in Austin, but on Hulu they have. Did you ever watch American Crime Story? They're the guys who did like the OJ one, but they did one on the impeachment. You ever see that one?
Is that the one that starts with Vince Foster killing himself? I did watch the Vince Foster episode.
Did that one?
They really like made it look like there was no foul play whatsoever with Vince Foster in the first episode.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately these things are still kind of talking points for whatever. I don't know anything about the Vince Foster thing. I don't claim to know anything about it. But he's what was he, like a legal counsel? He killed himself instead of he allegedly killed himself because he was supposed to testify against Hillary.
Yeah, he had some information on the Clintons, and I forget what the information was.
I think he was banging Hillary. That's what they were saying in the show.
Were they?
That's what they were saying in the show.
He was not a piece of ass.
No, he looked like one of those anchovies from SpongeBob.
Yeah, for sure.
Just kind of those people who just is like from asshole to the top of the head. It's just one.
Yeah,
one width.
Yeah.
Just a fucking pencil necked head loser.
Yeah. R.I.P. Vince Foster. Yeah. I did watch the beginning of that, but I didn't finish it because I know everything there is to know about the Lewinsky stuff. If it was all about Vince Foster, I would watch it.
I don't know everything there is to know. That which I do know, I love seeing a dramatic reenactment of. I'm one of those guys. Yeah. I saw.
Is there a Jay Leno in it?
I haven't gotten very far. I'm only like a couple episodes in. I'm enjoying it so far. It's a lot of chick drama, which I'm waiting to get past.
I saw
the whole thing is chick drama.
it's Monica Lewinsky.
And I'm going, no, hold on. After this, I'm sure the dudes are gonna come in.
When does Bill come in? I want to see Bill.
So I like all that shit, dude. Remember when there was a movie called Southside with You with Obama, and it's about how Obama and Michelle met each other.
Oh, yes. When he was a community organizer in Chicago.
Yeah. I went and saw it, and I loved every time in the movie where they would like make a reference that maybe it's Obama's gonna be president someday.
Like, oh damn, that's what happened. That's what fucking happened.
I loved it. I'd be nudging my girlfriend. She said, "Is he gonna run for office someday?"
Yeah.
He said, "Maybe."
Yeah.
We know what happens. He became president.
I'm thinking about getting into politics. Oh, snap!
Woo!
Yeah.
Like, what are you looking for in a relationship? I don't know. Marriage, maybe? And it's like, that's going to be your wife.
Do you know that Obama has a DJ and he's from Austin?
Oh, does he?
He has a DJ, so like on retainer or whatever. So whenever he throws a party, he has a DJ, and the guy's from Austin. Do you think he's the only president that had a DJ?
Yeah, I think so. I think
You don't think Joe Biden?
pretty safe to say.
Joe Biden has a DJ who goes, "Hello, my honey. Hello, my darling. Hello, my ragtime."
Well, FDR did have that guy. FDR had a guy who had like the big drum. And you know when we stomp and the drum
yeah.
drum hits, he's got
Cymbals in his knees.
Oh, I got another moment that I would have loved. If he met a girl named Malia and he goes, "Malia, I love that name." And we'd be like, "That's his daughter's name. That's his daughter's name."
Yeah.
We start going crazy in the crowd, lighting ourselves on fire, punching each other.
He's putting a Band-Aid on Michelle, and he goes, "You've got yourself some Obamacare."
Start whipping ourselves.
He doesn't even know what's about to happen to him, man. He doesn't even know. Most revolutionary legislation ever passed.
He sees him and his wife are out on a date, and there's a Yemeni wedding happening, and it's disturbing them. And he's going, "I wish somebody would tell those people to shut up.
I wish I could just strike them away. I wish I could just strike them. Like, I wish I could get like a remote control car, but like get like a remote control airplane, and just drop cow piss on them, just so they all run away."
Dude's in the crowd. He's got a full drum set.
Yeah.
Yes.
Obama.
All right.
Yep.
That was. Wait. What were you gonna do?
Nothing. I was gonna keep going, but I think we've peaked.
I think we peaked. That was the episode. That was the Patreon
Very
episode of
OP
the main
move
feed.
of you right there. That was good.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, you really are the OP Hughes.
That was the Patreon or main feed. I'm not really sure, but we'll figure it out once we get off. Once we let this room cool down for a minute.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Follow us on all social media platforms. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our Instagram, our TikTok. Oh, it's popping off in there. Won't you just join it?
Ooh, it's popping off on there.
What, dude?
That's how you always talk. I forgot. You're 23. I forgot.
Bet, dude. I'm based as fuck, dog. All right, thank you so much. We love you guys very much. On behalf of everybody here
God bless.
at the Boner Nation, peace be on to the boners.
Long live the city of Houston. You treated us nicely.
Oh, maybe it's like peace be on to the prophet with an F-I-T,
Yeah.
like, you know. Let's let AC hit it up and let's